I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice.
Do your own research.
Consult a professional investment advisor before making any investment decisions.
This show is for entertainment only. Faites vos propres recherches.
Here we are
in another episode
of the Simple Success Podcast.
And
this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
What wisdom can be found in spending wisely? To save our coins and not be so free, for if we spend too much, our coffers empty, and soon our wealth will cease to be. Spending must be done with care. Consider what is most important, and not be swayed by fleeting desires. To save our wealth and keep it evermore, we must be mindful of our future needs, and plan ahead for what that means. For if we spend on trifles now, our future selves will surely bow. Also think of others' needs, and not be selfish with our leads. For if we give to those in need, our hearts will spill our joyous deeds. Ah, it is true that spending wisely is wise. We must think of others in our future days. For with too much time in selfish ways, our wealth will soon be gone in a haze. A purple haze? Different show, DT. Of course. When you say how to spend wisely, one might assume you mean money habits, right? Considering both our efforts as a whole, DT, I'd agree with that. But what about not just spending habits, but how we spend time? That is no doubt a very big deal, a big part of life satisfaction. But there's good news, right? Yes, there is. There's more than one way to a happier life. Spell it out, por favor. We can tie this directly into doing the right thing for our goals, whether they are financial goals or not. We can? Do tell. We start by knowing what we really want. Like a list. Yeah, like a list. We need to be sure we are spending our precious time and money, right, and money, on things that will help us reach our money goals. Doesn't that mean taking the time to research and compare prices? It can for items we want to buy, or for making sure we are using our time well. Okay, but that takes time. Yes, it does, but since it fits in with a goal we have, then the time spent researching will be well worth it.
Yep.
That's true, and it's not always obvious either. We should also consider the long-term effects of our spending decisions. Example, please. Okay, for example, if we buy something that is cheaper but won't last as long, then in the end, we may have spent more money than if we had bought something of higher quality in the first place. Okay. So how does this wise spending stuff benefit investors? We get to that happier hour faster as soon as we wrap up this little speechy part. Gotcha. I'll make it quick. Okay, good. If we keep the main goal forefront in mind, all we do toward this sub-goal will radiate upward. And the financial piece will be worth it in the end. Yes, but this isn't the end. All right, it's the sub. The sub-goal, to be more clear. Yeah, that's the ticket.
You are welcome. De nada. De rien.
Wise spending is about making sure that your money is working for you. Right, because you've got to understand the value of a dollar in order to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. Right, so again, how does this benefit investors? The benefit is this. When you spend wisely, you can save more and then invest that in stocks or other investments. This can help you grow your wealth over time and increase your financial security. But how do you know what to invest in? That's where your research comes in. You need to understand the market and the different types of investments available so you can make informed decisions about where to put your money. That sounds like a lot of work. It is, but as you know, we help you with that. Anyway, it's worth it in the end, right? Yep, even though this still isn't the end. It's not? Not hardly. In fact, it's only time for
break number 1.
Hello, everyone. This is John with the Simple Success Podcast, financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Because we know you want to show us some serious love in return for the tremendous benefits you get from us, please subscribe to us in your favorite podcast player. You can find us on both the App Store and the Play Store because our message is for everyone. Leave a rating for us, or even better, tell a friend. Whichever you choose, thank you so much for helping us do this for you. To leave us a written message, which just might lead to more in a future podcast, go to those same written show notes to find our subreddits. There is also our Facebook group page, Twitter, and other ways which we'll tell you about from time to time. You can also find an Easter egg every so often, so listen closely. Thank you again, and keep those constructive ideas coming. I do not envy you this one, John. Why not, DT? I just sense the difficulty you'll have trying to explain how spending wisely makes for a better investor. Have faith, my man. I'll do it. Bragging again, huh? No, not at all. As the famous pitcher Dizzy Dean once said, if you can do it, it ain't bragging. And by that, he meant what exactly? He meant, translated into English, that you are only bragging about being able to do something if you haven't, or can't, right, or can't actually do the thing. I don't know if I buy that. What a fool he must have been. No, actually, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. What a monstrous fellow thou art thus, to rail on one that is neither known of thee, nor knows thee. Yeah, back to the present. So what I was saying was that spending wisely is a great idea for investors. Because it allows them to maximize the amount of money they can make on their investments. So it's not just about saving money? It is about saving money, don't misunderstand, but it's also about making wise decisions when spending money.
That's good.
Okay, so tell me, how do I buy everything I see and spend wisely too? Well, first you make gobs of money. Insanely large gobs? Preferably, but until we get there, we spend wisely. Which means thinking about it, I suppose.
It's all a matter of belief.
It does. Spending wisely means being aware of what you are buying and why you are buying it, and also understanding the differences between needs and wants, and examining your finances to evaluate what works for you and your family. And I do all of this in advance? Yes, you do. That sounds hard. And as you know, that's part of the point. Do hard stuff enough, and it's no longer hard. Do hard stuff enough? What was the rest of that? And it's no longer hard. Do hard stuff enough, and it's no longer hard. Got it.
That's good.
And before you buy something, ask yourself if you really need it.
Or if it will benefit your financial health in the long run.
Or your financial well-being, or even your personal well-being. Right, and then, if you do really need it, is this the right time? You mean because of opportunity costs from the next price cut on that thing? Yes, I mean that exactly. Now what is your difference? Speak. I am scarce in breath, my lord. Well, I'm not. And don't ignore value, which is something I've learned. How's that? It is very possible, maybe even common, to focus so intently on saving money that we sacrifice getting good quality. I did that once as a kid, and I still remember it. What did that involve? It involved a yo-yo, but that's another story. Right, like in the saying, you get what you pay for. A little bit like that, although I encourage a lot more creativity, so there is a how involved. So then, so I can see if I'm hearing what you're saying, there are some steps I need to take, is that right? That is right, E.T., but it will make it possible for you to make better decisions when it comes to spending your money. With zero extra effort? No, probably not. It may take a little extra effort, but it'll be worth it in the end. You'll be able to grow your wealth and achieve your biggest money goals just by getting rid of some bad money habits. Okay, so those are some great whys. Now, how about some hows? Of course, there are a few key tips for spending wisely. Wait, is this another list? No, it's not. It's a new perspective on a frequent list for extra money that we already have. Oh, okay. Go on then. Thanks, DT. Here we go. Create a budget, track everything, pay off debts, and invest in yourself. What about saving for retirement?
That's good. Yes, bueno. C'est bon.
Yes, that is good. But for this purpose, know that it's built into investing in yourself. Why is that? Because someday you will be your main employer, if not your only employer, and you need to be prepared for that extra time. That is soon, isn't it? Yes, it is.
But first, break number 2.
We know a lot about you already because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to our podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. So as soon as you're done with that, tell us your story. We have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a message. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know if that happens. The reason for subscribing? I thought you'd never ask. When you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. It just happens in your player without you having to go search again. How cool is that? This means better rankings for the podcast, more attention from advertisers, and more money. And this means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe today, whatever app and from whatever place you like. And don't just try to subscribe. There is no try. There is only do. We're changing the way we look at things, and remember, that's good. Eso es bueno, c'est bon. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. Our call to action is right in the show notes. Find it, and you win too. Okay, so we're going to come right back with language stuff. Right, here we go. Come, sir. What letters had you laid from France?
Quand aujourd'hui?
Be simple, answered DT, for we know the truth about wise spending and investing, don't we?
We do? Oh yeah, we do. We all want to save money, but what's the best way?
I think a simple solution is budgeting and setting aside money for investments.
So it becomes a bucket.
Yes, and you can grow the money you set aside for investments as well.
Sort of a pre-investment.
As you like it.
Anything you want.
Gotcha. But, one thing.
Yes, DT?
Isn't a big part of spending wisely making sure things are safe and secure?
It is, as long as you don't forget the Ben Franklin idea.
Which was what?
You braved snakes and meteors?
He said that?
No, he didn't. That was something from my drive to Atlanta last year. I'll tell you later.
Well, you got my attention anyway.
And that's good.
That's good. Yes, es bueno. C'est bon.
It's good because I got your attention, right?
Yes, you did, you scandalous goose.
Yes, well, it's important to do your research and be smart about where you invest your money.
Blah, blah, blah. Different risks, blah.
Yeah, with different investments.
But you just get comfortable with it.
Because?
Because tilting at windmills like Don Quixote isn't spending wisely.
Or acting wisely. So you'll act wisely from now on?
Si lo haré.
Si lo haré.
What's that, DT?
Oui, je la ferai.
Oui, je le ferai.
Oh, yes, you will, in Spanish and French. Okay, great. And you practice it?
Mindfully.
And then you practice it some more?
Most deaf, John.
Even when you think you don't need it?
Absolutamente.
Which is how you've all gotten good.
Gracias por escuchar.
Salut. À la prochaine.
This podcast and our other podcast are productions of Little Red Hen Industries. The supporting cast who helps me bake the bread includes
Techno King, John C. Brandy, Alter Ego, Doubting Thomas, Fact Checker, A Small Brown Beef Animal, Seriously, Tiny. Facts are important but are also easy. Social Manager, Abraham Lincoln, Media Expert, Augustus Caesar. Psychologist, William James. Sound Designer, Adobe's Creative Suite. Spanish Consultant, Cameron J.K. Brandy. French Consultant, Leah, the Do-Your-Own Research Lady. Videographer, Eto Monkoshki. Audio Props, Les Paul. Inspiration, many podcasts and other sources and of course Napoleon Hill.
We also have websites, and you can subscribe to both podcasts. You can even send us a video, audio, or text message, but of course you'll have to head to the show notes, either on your phone or on the web, to get the links and stuff. And all those clickable links are in the show notes.
And before we forget, the artificial intelligence or AI voices that you hear in our work are offered up by Google, Amazon Polly, and OpenAI like we say in the show notes. They don't sponsor us yet, but we love what they do and we just love what AI can do when lovingly crafted.
Finally, you can find us on Podmatch.com, Matchmaker.fm, Podbooker and Podcast Guests, where we consider guests and consider guesting on other people's shows.
And really finally, the music for our pods comes from Cute by Ben Sound and from Piano Background by Nick Simon Adams, as well as from AI MuseNet. The sound effect credits go to Jackson Academy Ashmore, Canusi G, Dr. Jekyll, Joe Payne, Everything Sounds, MK Play More Stories, ERH, Sand Emotions, Big Pickle 51, and Just Kidding. Yes, that's his or her name. All on freesound.org. Also, languages are the bomb.
Paul.